Hello, welcome back to episode 13 of our Geneforge playthrough. We are in the village of Pentil, and we're going to go exploring, see what can be seen, meet some new faces, some new serviles, get some new missions. Alright, we're in a sort of storage room, getting some, oh, come on, there we go. Stealing a few things. They won't be missed. Maybe they will be. But nobody saw us, so they won't really be missed. Some boxes there. We're just gonna trigger this so we have that. We're not actually gonna go to the Pentil Woods right now. May clear that out later just for the experience. Some javelins. These are just sort of the guard halls, I guess, for marching around. We are going to be completely over encumbered. Some stone blocks. Better find the local merchant. Sell off some stuff soon. Alright, yeah, so we're going to do the same thing here. Just open up that thing on the map. Pentil East. Huh. Some pots we'll check out. Somebody's lunch. Nothing there. Huh. 6 living tools. There must be some sort of like storeroom or guards barracks. We'll see what we can see. We'll let that guard wander off before we start digging around in the cabinet here. Take, oh, an ensnaring crystal. I think that's a new one for us. But doing wall repairs, it seems. Right, let's check out where this leads to the Wooded Valley. Pentil's very central here. We complete our circuit of the exterior walls. And we have pillaged all of their stuff. Right, you enter the village of Pentil. It's quite a bit more than a village, actually. This was a large fort, probably the administrative center. Though you weren't sure at first, it is becoming clear that this island was once a major Shaper research center. Whatever caused your people to declare Sushia forbidden, it must have been very dramatic. As you enter, the effect on the serviles here is dramatic. They stare at you in awe. Even considering reactions to you so far, it is remarkable. Some of them fall to their knees. One of the guards walks up to you, staring at the ground and shuffling his feet. Shaper, welcome to Pentil, and in the name of the Obeyers, we welcome you. We are grateful that you have returned to rule and guide us at last. He walks back slowly, not daring to look directly at you. When you meet the gaze of one of these meek creatures, they look away. For once in this isle, you are meeting serviles who treat you like serviles elsewhere do. Alright, so we have a bunch of people who should be obeying and respecting us here. Would they care if I take the gloves, though? Given how there's a number of blood splatters on the floor. They're quite dry, but not very old. Just punish people in here. Alright, so we're not gonna poke around all those. Wait, come back over here. Let's make sure these are just regular guards. Ah, there's the Pentil blade. You doubt that you will ever get used to seeing serviles like this one. Tall, armed, armored, and skilled with weapons. Fortunately, you have little to fear from this one. It is all he can do to keep from throwing himself to the floor at your feet. Welcome, Great Shaper. I am McCall Blade, commander of the armed serviles here. We have waited so long for the return of your kind. There are so many foes facing us, and so little we can do to oppose them without help. Said that you need my help. What is troubling you, servile? If you leave the city gates to the east and travel down the road to the south, you will reach Thorny Wood. Along the central road, you will find a small outpost. The guards there block in a band of dangerous rogue serviles sent from wicked casks to the east. That's the Pentil East. They have protected themselves with traps and guards, and we cannot eliminate them. Thus, I must waste valuable forces besieging them. If you could slay them, it would be most helpful to your loyal serviles here. Where to begin? There are constant spies and infiltrators from Kazk. That's the Taker faction. There are rogues, and now there are even sightings of evil humans on our isle. All humans are barred from here, and yet they come. Where do the rogues come from? We don't know. They first started to come about a year ago. First one or two, small and misshapen, and then more, and then hordes. I hear there are even huge beasts that hide in caves and make the things themselves. At first it was a nuisance, now it threatens all our lives. Okay, let's learn about the spies. Kask is a village to the east. It is a sick place consumed by the beliefs of the Takers, who would lead us in rebellion against your kind. The horror of it, I can't bear to think of it. They send spies out here all the time to foment violence against our creators. Do not worry, though. When we find one of them, we deal with them. How do you deal with them? Quickly and in a way that ensures they never question the Shapers again. We never hesitate to do your will. Nice way of saying they kill them. Okay, so now another quest. Can anybody see us here? Let's take a look in this cabinet. We'll try. Alright, no one sees us. We are going to unload on some unsuspecting local merchant. This unlock spell is really coming in handy. Alright. So that's the local guard. Chesh. Okay. Servile guard looks very beaten down, as if he has seen a lot of intense combat recently. His shoulder is bandaged and his face is bruised. He looks familiar. Welcome, Shaper. I am Chesh. I just came from a fierce battle on the fields to the west. It is good to see you are well. What are you doing now? I'm only part of the town watch until I am better. The moment I am at full strength, I will be patrolling the bridges to the east, watching for rogue serviles and other taker scum. I can't wait to begin fighting anew in the name of our creators. Having you here inspires us all, Shaper. Another question. Looks weary, but he's determined controls. Alright, that's all for now. Okay, so Chesh made it into town from outside. Who are you? Nelly. This servile is young, but she moves as if she bears a heavy burden. Her hands show the signs of much hard work, but her robes are clean, indicating she has been working inside for a while. When she sees you, she kneels. A single tear runs down her cheek. I heard, but I did not dare to believe. It is true. After all our waiting, you have returned to us. Welcome, Shaper. I am Natalie, head of the farmers. I have trained serviles as you would wish. Tell me about the farmers. We serviles always grew food for the Shapers of Susha Isle. When they left, we felt they would one day return, and we wanted to be able to resume service to our creators. So for generations, we have trained our children to grow food. Of course, being able to eat it ourselves helped us survive to serve you better. Saw the saves farms, also clear the rogues away from the west gate. Oh, Shaper, I know. Thank you, thank you. Even now, we are sending out farmers to repair the considerable damage. Thanks to you, we will not starve. You came to solve problems when all was worst. Interesting way to write that sentence. As we were always taught you would. I have another question. Still on one knee, still overwhelmed. Why are you so worn out? She bends lower, leaning closer to you for strength. Not long ago, my bonded was lost. I guess his name was Hudge. their mating partner to make kids. His name was Hudge. He was cutting wood. A Lish poisoned him, and he died. Oh, that's a sad story. For a time, I questioned how the Shapers could abandon us. I wondered how they could let these things happen to us. In the end, Rhydell came to me and told me how it was all for the best. He told me how you understood all and you made sure it was all happening for a reason. It was a great comfort to me. Please, Shaper, forgive me my doubts. What does it mean to be bonded? He was my mate, my love. Interesting. Though you knew that serviles were fertile and could reproduce because it would be a waste of effort to magically create all that are needed, you never thought about their mating rituals and such. It isn't something Shapers pay much attention to. Um, just to boost our rep with the Obeyers, we're going to answer the first one. We are playing as Awakened, but this is sort of not uh, I mean, it is sort of a wicked thing, but we're going to boost her up with them. I believe you, but at times, some of us, not me, understand, but you understand, but some of us question it. I do not. If you say how things must be, that's how things must be. I know that now. Right, so that's all for now. So maybe we could have uh, answered a little differently. Maybe we should have tried that, but I think it's best to work with the people who are working with you and continue. We're going to leave our gloves alone. Continue to feed into their helpful delusion. Who are you? Godwin. This burly servile has a pair of axes at his belt, one on either side. He looks very restless and not excessively in awe of you. This hall, once quite grand, has been converted into a lumber yard. The smell of freshly cut wood is heavy in the air. I'm Godwin, he says. I'm the head woodsman. I keep serviles trained in the ways, so when the Shapers return, we're ready to fetch wood for them. It is odd, you've never known serviles to be asked to fetch wood. Never met a servile woodsman before. No, cutting trees and getting wood was one of the main things Shaper used us serviles for, though that was a long time ago, I guess. That's why we make sure to train new woodsfolk, down generation to generation. We must always be able to obey your will, though it's often been difficult. What sort of difficulties? Nothing that'll surprise you. Rogues, Vlish, lots of them, in the woods to the south. They aren't tough. Run a few of us at them with axes and we can take them down quick. But then the next week they're back. They keep reappearing. We can't figure out from where. Perhaps I could figure out where the Vlish are coming from. Perhaps you could. We have always hoped Shapers would return to help us, but I never thought it would happen. If it did, I sure would be grateful. If you can find the source of the Vlish and remove it, I would reward you as best I can. So we're not going to ask him about the obeying thing for now. We're just going to accept the quest. Yeah, just a bunch of piles of wood. He is storing up for the winter. Let's go. What you find in this library is simultaneously impressive and pitiful. This place is a monument to the serviles' worship of the Shapers. The shelves here are filled with scrolls. You pick up one and inspect it, and then another. They are records, bureaucratic notes of the colony before it was abandoned. They aren't the originals, though. They are copies, painstakingly made and kept legible by servile scribes, in case the Shapers ever return. Records are worthless, though. Whatever information they contained has been rendered obsolete and useless by years of abandonment. So much time was wasted here, just because the serviles thought your people might wish it. Can we select any of the scrolls? No. Nope. No, I can't pick up anything. Learned Dana. At last you meet a servile who's doing a proper servile act. Serviles are generally used for record keeping and other less physically taxing jobs. They are too smart to be used for farming and too weak for fighting. This female shows you the respect and awe that seems the norm here. Shaper, you inspect us at last. I am Dana. Welcome to the Records Hall. I maintain it and train other serviles to maintain it. I hope it meets your approval. What sort of records are stored here? My ancestors were charged by the Shapers to keep the records of a fair on this isle, and for years we have done that. It has been difficult pulling people away from hunting and farming, but we have always trained more to keep these records. Sometimes they have rotted and been damaged, and we have recopied them. I'm sure everything here is intact and as the Shapers would wish it. I hope our work pleases you. Is there any way I can help keep the records? We praise her, but we'll see just this option. You are kind, Shaper. Many old books of records have been lost over the years, some to the west, some to the north, many around Kazg. We've tried to find and preserve them, but with little luck. The more such records you can bring to me, if you find any at all, the better we can serve you. Shall always do what the Shapers wish, even if it doesn't make sense. Sure. Thank you, Shaper. You're very kind. For so many years, so many of us have wondered if there was any sense in doing what we do. It is good to know that we are doing our Creator's will. We will redouble our efforts to make sure that the knowledge here stays intact. Another question. Do you know about the history of Susha? Very little. The records are, well, we don't really understand them, but I've gathered a little bit of knowledge. Do you know anything about the cancers I've been finding? I know that they were discovered here. I have records of their construction and use. They are capable of rewriting the very code of life hidden deep within your being. The Shapers then stopped making them suddenly and fled the island. I do not know why. She looks at you closely. Shaper, you have been using them, haven't you? Though I have never seen one of you, you look strange to me. She fetches an old mirror, worn and cracked, and shows you your face. She is right, you have changed. There is a cold look in your eyes, and you think you can see a faint glow underneath your skin. Very strange. But basically, genetic manipulation at the cellular level, at the DNA level, I believe. The name Geneforge sort of gives that away. Do you know why this island was barred or what it was used for? Records tell us that huge amounts of supplies were moved around here, and many shapers came and left. The most important shapers were Daphniel, Corrada, and Danette. What they were doing and why they left, I have no idea. I am so sorry. I can tell you, though, who keeps the good records. His name is Toivo. He is a foul taker in Kazg. He jealously guards the most valuable records of the Shapers, even the locations of their most useful artifacts. To learn more, find him. Okay, we have a name of someone who might be valuable. Someone had a snack just now. Alright, so can't search the records, but is a nice door here. With Shaper Records. There we go. More Shaper Records. And more Shaper Records. I bet if we take her own records to her, she will buy them off of us or just be happy to have them. Let's see. Or maybe we just get experience. I found small Shaper Records. Takes records eagerly. Thank you, Shaper. We will catalog and restore these precious documents. Since you left, we have gathered up some meager payment for your kind help. She gives you a few coins. Alright, so we got a little bit of experience for finding books in the back room. Oh, that's Chesh. This is a friendly farmer. This is one of the serviles who works hard to grow food and raise meat. The hard work has left the creature with rough hands and strong muscles. It is very different from the serviles back home. She looks up at you in awe, clearly seeing the savior of her kind. Word of your acts must have gotten around. Is there anything I can do for you, mighty Shaper? You have but to ask. Tell me about your farm. It's outside the west gate. Now that the gate has been cleared, we are starting to return to our lands and repair the damage that has been done. Looking for information. Is there anyone here who can help me? Rhydell is the leader here and the one with most knowledge. He is the leader of the Obeyers. I know that he would be honored by a visit from you. His hall is at the west side of the central building. Alright, so it's on, west is up here. So it's on this side over here. Let's go around, get a little bit more areas to explore, but we're gonna go talk to the leader, just regular guard. This massive hall is sparsely decorated. The floor is bare except for a scattering of chairs arranged for discussion. It is as if there was nothing placed here to distract from the business at hand. This is the meeting hall of Pentil and the center of the Obeyer sect. From here, the plans of the serviles are set into motion, all with the sole intention of pleasing the Shapers. Guards. I mean, that's not really a discussion. Let's go see if we just open this door real quick. 8 living tools, though. So it's probably a reward place. This is Leader Rhydell. Alright. You aren't used to seeing this complicated a mix of emotions in the face of a servile. Normally, they are simple, obedient, docile creatures. Not this one. You see his face the look of one who has spent many years in command, plotting and scheming, who has now come face to face with a thing he has worshipped for many years. Awe and cunning fight within him as he tries to decide how to deal with you. Finally, he says, Shaper, I have heard of your arrival. I am awed and grateful that you have returned to us at last. I am Rhydell. I am the leader of the Obeyers, the only sect that has stayed steadfast and true in our obedience to your kind. We know that you are alone here and endangered by the rogue creations that surround us. We hope that you have come to assist us and to reward us for our obedience. He looks up at you expectantly. I want to learn more of the Obeyers. Gladly, Shaper. My life is centered around describing our beliefs. I think that they will, upon reflection, be pleasing to you. We are dedicated to nothing but showing your kind the obedience we owe you as our creators. We hope one day that we will be able to convince you to ally with us. What sort of things have you done on this island in our name? I'm glad you asked, Shaper. We have attempted to maintain your structures and to keep ourselves trained in the skills you required of us. In addition, we have interfered as much as we can with the strange, rogue servile sects around us. How have you interfered? However we could. We realized that if the awakened or the takers gained strength, their ideas might escape Susha Isle and infect others. So we've maintained the servant mines, harassed their villages, kept them from needed supplies, and so on. For example, we kept the servant mine Control 4 to the west alive and well. This has helped keep Vakiri small and weak, and is thus unable to seriously expand their anti-Shaper views. Aha. So, Control 4, who we told to end their own life, was being kept fed by the Obeyers, which explains a bit more the Obeyer guards in the Crag Valley. The question. Rhydell stares at you openly. Let's see if we can learn where to find a boat. Well, tell me of the village. This is the largest servile settlement on Susha. We have worked hard to make it so. We want it to be ready for when the Shapers return. Still, the many threats we face have made our lot a difficult one. How have you obeyed us in our absence? For each of the tasks the Shapers have servile performed, we have one group which carries it out. We train each new generation to serve as the ancestors have served. Please, Shaper, speak with the serviles here, note their skill and loyalty, and see how it has made us strong and prosperous. Tell me about the rogues. I would, but I think you would best learn of the threats which face us from those who deal with them directly. Every day, find McCall, he can tell you much. And Shaper, if you are feeling merciful and kind, please help us. Recently, our difficulties have been great. Another question. Let's ask him about the boat. Rhydell looked startled. After centuries of waiting for Shapers to return, it did not occur to him that upon your return you would immediately want to leave. Still, he is obedient. We do not generally think of such things, but I heard Pixley speak of a boat recently. She is in the town somewhere. Okay. So he didn't actually have any new missions for us, but he did mention Pixley, who was one of the merchants that we were looking for uh, the other merchant in Vakiri. Though the serviles of Pentil claim total obedience to the Shapers, it is very strange what you find in here. It is a laboratory used for shaping new creations. It has been scrupulously maintained by the serviles. It also looks like, despite the absence of Shapers for many years, this lab has been in use. The serviles here seem to have been trying to use Shaper powers on their own. Very strange and worrying. Bears further investigation. Oh ho ho, have they? Tamed Fioras. Okay. Please tell me they're not. That would be interesting if they have been created. Learned Jaffe. Alright, let's come over here. Refresh our essence at the you two step away. Just you. Yeah, from all those unlock spells. Okay. Let's talk to Mr. Learn Jaffe here. You meet a servile sage. You know that serviles are often used as researchers and laboratory assistants. This one clearly aspires to be something more. You smell the sulfur stink of living Fioras. Welcome, Shaper, the old servile says. I am Jaffe of the Obeyers. I have been here long and learned much. I am sure there is much you want to know about this isle. I can help you. What sort of work are you doing here? What is the lab for? Do not fear, Shaper. I am not following the arts forbidden to us serviles. I would never attempt to try and make my own creations. I have been trying to tame existing creations, to control rogues and to have them fight for us instead of against us. I expose them to training, to being, and to essence, and appeal to their natural obedience to true Shaper thoughts. Does it work? Yes, it does. Most of the rogues we captured do not survive the taming, but a few, all Fioras, have. They fight for us now in some places. We need all the forces we can have to survive what is against us. The real question is, how many forces do you lose capturing the Fioras? Right, I have another question. Watches you quietly. His doesn't look, I think that should be, he doesn't look awestruck, but he clearly finds you to be very interesting. There's much I would like to learn from you. I'm sure there is. However, I can only share my knowledge with an ally of the Obeyers. I know much and cannot afford to aid anyone we are not sure follows the true designs of the Shapers. Okay, so he's not going. So I think this is one of those things where the guard in not Vikiri, in Elra's Keep will train you in combat if you're allied with the Awakened for some money, and this guy may give you some Shaper training. There's Pixley. If you, this guy will give you Shaper training if you're allied with the Obeyers. Alright. You meet a relatively happy servile, Pixley, good-natured despite the horrors that surround her. When you approach, she switches from happiness to ecstasy. The Shaper visiting me? I am honored. I am Pixley, the leader of the travelers, ones who move things about, who roam the whole isle. Sometimes to aid the Shapers, sometimes for ourselves. It is the greatest honor to meet a Shaper at last. Travel around? My ancestors were the ones who moved supplies around for the Shapers. We do the same thing now, keeping the routes of travel clear so that we may serve your kind in the same way when you return. But since you have been traveling, you must know how dangerous our task is. Tell me what lies to the east. First, there is a river spanned by two bridges, crumbling but intact. Then, heavy woods. You'll find many rogue creations, but servile outposts as well. Some of them will aid you. Then the deadly area of Kazg, swarming with takers. Then a few jagged rocky peaks, and then water again. Tell me what lies north of here. Desolate waste, with rogues and little else. Beware that area, Shaper. Not even my folk travel up there. Sort of a warning that we need to be highly skilled with good equipment to go to the north. What has made things especially dangerous? That is an easy one. It's the bridges. The river to the east is spanned by two bridges, and they're both blocked. They're guarded by monsters and such. I have lost 2 travelers there, both killed. It is the sort of horrible thing we have been hoping the Shapers could rescue us from. If you were able to clear one of the bridges for us, we would be so thankful. Another question? What could be more important than hearing the words of a Shaper? Alright. Did we ask you to travel around? Yeah. Alright. We went through that. Alright, another question. I wish to find a boat. In your travels, have you ever seen one? I wish I could meet your every need, Shaper, but I have never seen a boat. But, she thinks, one of my travelers told me that she saw a ship recently near the shore south of here. She tells you how many days ago. Coincidentally, it was the same day you were attacked and swam to this island. She was traveling through the tombs. To get there, go south through the Pentil woods and then east. If you explore the shore, you might find something. I have a message from Cole and Vakiri. He wants to resume trade with you. Before you arrived, I would have said it would be futile, but you have done much to clear the route between here and there. Tell Cole that I will do my best to begin sending goods there. You must be patient, though. It will take time. There is much danger on the roads. Okay, so we went through this sequence already. Oh, so we can't trade with her. I was really hoping to dump some of the goods we've picked up. Anything here? Just robbing the serviles blind. There's nothing in this room. Uh-huh. Servile. This is one of the serviles who works hard to grow food and raise meat. Hard work has left the creature. It said farmer for the other ones. I'm looking for information. Rhydell's leader here. Tell me about your farm. Okay, so that's interesting. I was thinking there might be like a taker spy. Alright, we're full up on equipment. We really need to find someone to sell to. Yeah, so we're not going to finish exploring back here until we can dump some of these goods on some unsuspecting merchant. But I have not seen any merchants. Maybe they are in Pentil East. Oh. Well, here we go. Several serviles have set up stands in this courtyard, literally named merchant. Though the dangerous creatures plaguing the countryside have dramatically reduced commerce, you suspect that once a lot of trade took place here. The merchant looks up at you. Strangely, though the serviles seem to worship you, this merchant looks very uncomfortable. Greetings, mighty shaper. I am honored that you have found the time to inspect my humble wares. I hope that you will forgive me, but times are very tight, and I must ask much more for my goods than I would like to. How has trade been lately? Oh, Shaper, it has been terrible. Since those horrible monsters started roaming everywhere, it has been so dangerous. We have been unable to scavenge for Shaper artifacts, and we have not been able to carry goods between settlements. If only one of the bridges to the east were clear, life would be much easier. Hopefully someone will come and help us in our time of need. I'd like to trade with you. The shop has 42 gold. Alright. Really expensive. Alright, sell some of this junk. 19 gold left. Alright, I'll check back with one of the other merchants. Same message, same message. To trade with you, they have 869 gold. Alright, so this is the shop that's doing a lot better. This is regular thorns, we will get rid of. 17 venom thorns. Alright, we'll hang on to those. Sell the javelins. Sell the gemstone. Prices here are utterly ridiculous. Okay, are they? Well, we will probably not buy anything from here at the moment then, but that did free up our inventory a bit, give us some more money. Let's see what you've got over here. Just your awesome merchant. Okay. Also utterly ridiculous. They have some good amount of gold too. Icy crystals. We've got 19. We haven't been going through them very fast. We'll save our money for now. Go finish exploring in this back room, and then we'll wrap up the episode. We'll see what is stored. Maybe there's a spy. Who knows? Run in here. It's just a box to search. 2 lovely gemstones, some more venom thorns. Aha, there is. This is one of the serviles who works hard to grow food. Anything I can do for you, Mighty Shaper? Tell me about your farm. Looking for information. Okay, so maybe not. Alright, so we don't take that because we're being spied on, of course. Of course, they have the. I would have expected there'd be a spy or somebody hiding in the back. But maybe they're somewhere else. Alright, so we've got bridges to the east. We picked up a ton of quests. We may pop back over to Vikiri to turn in the first part of our Find Pixley quest. Then we find Source of Blish, destroy hidden rebels, band of rogue takers hiding in thorny wood. Huh. And then clear the bridge. Okay. And we will take care of all those next time. Thank you for watching. If you found some conversation options interesting, or have a mission you think would be smart to take first, leave a comment below, let me know, and we'll see you next time.